And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age, Struggle for Freedom. I know it has been at least a couple weeks since I last did a part of this playthrough. That was because I was focusing on a couple new playthroughs, as I'm currently doing Pokemon Crystal, and my girlfriend Danielle was doing Pokemon Emerald on my channel as well. So we'll try to focus on that for a little bit. But when I have spare time for myself, of course, I'll get back into Final Fantasy 12, Struggle for Freedom. Another reason too was for some reason, for a couple times, when I was trying to get the patch started, for some reason it just wasn't loading up the correct version. I wasn't sure why. So what I had to do was I had to delete the older version, because I guess I keep getting mixed up with patches of the older version, and basically uninstall whatever version I had at the time and just reinstall the current version so I could be up to date on what's happening. And thankfully, after that, after cleaning up my folder a little bit, I was somehow able to install the correct version, and by the time I booted up the title screen, there's Vayne on the title screen, and then I thought, okay, that's the correct title screen there. This part is around 28 minutes long. That's because some of which is taken up by cutscenes and me going through the shop selling a lot of my stuff. I apologize for not cutting that out, but I guess I can use the time to talk about anything off topic here. I did play the Final Fantasy 12 Switch version that just came out just yesterday, actually, at least at the time of this recording. So I'd be recording this, my voice anyways, on May 1st. As far as my early impressions, it's generally the same as a PS4 re-release, Zodiac Age. The only difference I've seen so far was that once you join Mont Blanc's clan, you're free to switch classes with your party members. Now, I'm not sure if that means that if you ever wanted to. Now, I'm not sure if it means that if you ever wanted to really maximize your stats, you could do it that way. Do the other augments carry over to a new board you switch into, even though it may not have been the original pick? That's just the one thing I've been really curious about, and the reason why I am curious about it is because, well, so I'm wondering if there's a way you can further maximize your party member stats when you switch classes with Mont Blanc. That's the one thing I'm really curious about, because say if you could, then I would imagine you'd be able to easily achieve like at least 80 plus stats across the board, and maybe even plus 90 in some cases, and in some cases for a couple characters, which would be really cool. Because, you'd be at level 99, yeah, but you would have like the max stats that you would be getting depending on the classes you pick for each character. So I'm really curious about that. Excuse me. Because I know in my PS4 run, I turned I won't go into the full details of what my team was, but I know my PS4 run, I made Vaughn start off as a knight, and then later on turn him into a Bushi, because I figured he would have, because he can attack on both fronts, magic and physical, quite well. Figured he can be a melee version with some white magic support. And in the Switch version this time around, I'm gonna see how he does as a black mage, because I know from what I've read, Vaughn, at least in the Switch version, anyways, is a decent all-rounder, so he can perform either job well, physical or magic. So I'm gonna try to switch things up a little bit, you know, spruce things up just a tad. And I only got in as far as speaking to old man Dallin about getting getting a couple sunstones ready. But anyways, new enemies here, black chocobos. They can occasionally give you chocobo feathers, which I'm pretty sure it grants you an accessory where I think you get like extra speed. Or am I thinking of a different item? I'm not 100% positive on that, but you know, that's why farming exists, because you know how many you're gonna, because you know how many of these items you really want to steal until you get the item that you want. There will be specific loot later that you want to sell in conjunction with the other ones in order to unlock that one item. And you better damn well make sure you have enough money for that item too. Which thankfully, again, because if you know where to loot in this game, it really shouldn't be too hard. Now, I'm skipping a lot of these enemies because I figure you guys have already seen enough of them, and we just want to get to the village already and uncover more plot. Alright, now we're in Jahara. This one is where you can, if you ever needed to upgrade some of your items, you can do it here. And of course, it's a teleport crystal too, so anytime that you need to go back to this place for any reason, rather it be accepting like a hunt, for example, you can do that. I really need that crystal too, because Ash was under the sap status effect for a pretty long time. And I just didn't want to constantly just keep healing because she keeps losing HP. And plus I ran out of remedies too. I ran out of remedies. Of course, for me anyways, I will be, next video anyways, because I did run out of money. Well, I do run out of money by the time I go to the shop, because I really need to restock on the items and such. I am definitely going to be grinding off screen, and I'll simply just get back to the screen where we need to be in order to progress. The only thing I'll also kind of show off is some of the chocobo trails that you can uncover. Because there are a couple of passages of chocobo tracks. There are a couple of instances of chocobo tracks where you can get to a part of the plains that is not accessible by foot. Something that Final Fantasy X actually did with their chocobos, where there are some treasures in some locations you can't get to alone. You need a help from a chocobo to do that. So I thought it was a nice little callback. I'll definitely show that off next video, and then show off where we need to go next. That was just me double checking the hunts, I guess, for a second. You know, just to make sure I did everything I needed to do so far. Once I do get Larsa, I will be accepting new hunts along the way as well. Before we continue. Alright, and this is where the next few minutes of my video starts to slow down a little bit. I do apologize for that, showing off the shop and all. But I guess just kind of show you what's there. What was I gonna say? I was also been playing. Well, I guess since I brought Final Fantasy X a minute ago, I might as well talk about it here. I was playing a little bit of Final Fantasy X Switch version a little while ago too. While it's nice that that you can still pick between the original and the arranged soundtrack, and the expert spirit grid, apparently, from what I've read, can make your characters even stronger early on if you know what you're doing. I'll have to look up a guide that that details that. But so far, I have not ran into anything drastically different, at least not yet. And plus, 10 is a pretty big game, so I would imagine that I probably haven't really gotten to that point yet. One thing I am a little bit irked by when it comes to 10, the Switch version of 10, is that they don't give you the option to listen to Japanese dialogue. I mean, they already give away the English subtitles already by default. So I don't know why they just didn't include the Japanese dialogue. Like even in Final Fantasy 12, they also have the option of giving the Japanese dialogue if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like if you want to watch Japanese, if you want to listen to Japanese dialogue while watching the English subtitles, you can do that. I don't know why 10 couldn't do the same thing. And while Switch version 10, I can appreciate that you can skip over the Spirit Grid tutorial, because for those who have been playing Final Fantasy X for years, like I have, you don't need to sit through that all over again. But I wish they also gave you the option to skip cutscenes. The reason why I asked that is because, you know, I mean, I understand there's some cutscenes in the game that that is important that you probably shouldn't be skipping over, but still, I think it'd be fine if we all had the option to be able to skip cutscenes. It's just simply for the fact that we've seen them already. We already know what happens. We already know where this leads to. I personally, anyways, would rather not sit through all that again. Then that would include the infamous Tidus laugh. You know, the ha ha ha, that one. I don't know. It's just that to me. I don't know why they didn't include those options, but be that as it may, it did say supposedly you're gonna get some, I guess some new bosses. I'm not sure what exactly that means, but I do want to find out when I do eventually play through Final Fantasy X for sure. What was I gonna say? Also, I've also been starting up on my FF12 Arena live streams again because a new patch just came out a little while ago. Thoughts on that so far? I think that adding speed buffs to a lot of the classes, while nice, I think since the majority got them, like Scholars, Mystic Knights got them. I'm trying to remember who else got them. Chemist gets speed +1. I thought that it might have been a little much, because now what's going on currently in Arena is people trying to make some speed-oriented teams, and speed, you know, particularly with guns, is pretty much wiping the floor of everyone so far. Longbows in particular have gotten a nice buff because they have synergized very well with the light clothing that can enhance said elements. Like there's actually a light helmet for archers to equip that enhances lightning and makes lightning bow even stronger. Projectile guard is gone, which I don't know why. I mean, I know it's a niche ability, but at the same time, that same niche is also pretty effective, especially if you're able to stack evasion now with putting abandon on the movement slot as opposed to a reaction slot. So I don't think it necessarily fixed a lot. I think I want to say how should I put this? I don't think it necessarily solved any problems. Well, okay, it did solve some problems. Like some classes really needed some buffs, granted, but I think it created a whole new set of problems, because now you gotta basically just run high-speed teams with ways to go through evasion. And I think as a result of that, now you create an environment where you absolutely need. Okay, I mean, grant you you should never ignore Magic Defend Up and Defense Up as viable options as well as the Auto Protect Auto Shell. But that being said, though, that also means that status effects, particularly Charm and Death Sentence, are now the anti-meta, which I think is only one answer to speed teams. And I do know that a couple of the speed items are being removed because you can just stack on speed way too much. And I think by then, and only by then anyways, you can create something that's a little bit more balanced. I know Flare's gone. Well, the spell itself, Flare, but now there's like an elemental version of Flare that you can pull off. Oh, excuse me. I mean, the teams I've been creating so far, I did bring back a couple of my gimmick teams, but I've also made up a new team that kind of mixes and matches the damage output assisted from oil as well as having decent speed. But anyways, back to this game here. In order to get past the bridge there, you need to talk to one of the Jahara citizens and get the Jaya stick. The Jaya stick, there we go. The Jaya stick, for some reason, I think you can sell as an item, but we don't want to do that for the sake of progressing through here. Yeah, Zayalu, that's what you call him. He gives you the stick right here. You know what though? I never really tested out what would happen if you sell the item and then you talk to him again and he gives you another one. I never really tested that, so I really don't know for sure if the developers took heed of that and then tested that out. I mean, I haven't personally tried it. I am curious if anyone out there that happens to know what would happen. Please tell me in the comment section down below. While you're at it, please subscribe to my channel. I do upload more than just Final Fantasy content. I'm starting to upload more Pokemon content. I will eventually be uploading other games as well. Whatever games I can play off Steam. As I mentioned in one of my previous FF12 live streams, I do want to do Octopath Traveler when that comes out for Steam, because I think it's a little bit easier for me to set up. As far as other games go, I'll have to see if I can get the Elgato working and see if I can get the cutscene.
This nethicite, you have used it.
It was not I who used it. Indeed, I had hoped you could show me how. Thus I've come.
You do not know the workings of the stone, then we are no different.
What?
In ages past, the gods made a gift of nethicite to my people. But the manner of its use eluded us. Displeased by our failure, the gods took back their stones. They chose instead to give them to a Yum king. Called the Dynast King, he used the nethicite's power to bring peace to a troubled time. It is a curious thing. Though the blood of King Wraithwolf flow through your veins, you cannot wield nethicite.
Cannot wield it? So then, am I to understand you can't tell me how to use the stone?
Though it shame me so to admit, here before me stands a descendant of the Dynast King himself, and I can accord her no help at all. Still, Even if you knew how to use the nethicite, you would find it of small avail. The mist collected in the stone over ages past is lost, and with it, the stone's power. It will be your posterity who wield the stone in ages yet to come. This stone is devoid of power, empty, yet full of thirst, a terrible longing to drink the world dry. The power of men and of magic, of good and of evil. It is often those who desire nethicite whom the nethicite itself desires.
Larsa? To Ozmose.
I say we ought leave tomorrow. I was going to wait for my escort to return, but meeting you here has presented a great opportunity. This terrible war can be stopped, but I will need your help to do so.
A war?
You know the Marquis Ondor leads a group of insurgents. Your pardon. He leads a large resistance force against the Empire. Lady Ash, neither of our countries can afford this now. The Rosarian Empire would stir. They would aid the resistance and use this aid as a pretext to declare war on Arcadia, and Arcadia would have no choice but to answer. Lady Ash, let us go to Ozmose. With the blessing of His Grace, the Grand Kiltius Anastasis, you may rightly wear your crown and declare the restoration of the Kingdom of Dalmasca. As Queen, you can call for peace between the Empire and Dalmasca and stop Marquis Ondor.
For peace? How dare you say that? The Empire attacked us, stole all we hold dear, and you would have me save them from war?
Dalmasca would be the battlefield. What if nethicite were used on Rabanasta? You know my brother would do this. Forgive me. I presumed overmuch. I could think of no other way to avoid bloodshed. If you cannot trust me, then please, take me as your hostage.
Rustler.
You saw him, didn't you? Like at the King's tomb.
So you did see him too. But why?
It's strange. Before, I didn't even know what you looked like. And the prince? I barely knew there was a prince. Who knows? Maybe the person I saw was my brother.
Bush told me about him.
He enlisted right at the end. But for what? He knew he couldn't win.
To protect something.
How can he protect anything when he's dead? Was it different for Prince Rastler? Did that make sense? Hating the Empire, getting revenge, it's all I ever thought about. But I never did anything about it. I mean, I realized there was nothing I could do. It made me feel hollow, alone.
Yeah,
then
even getting
I miss
notifications
my
like
brother.
that will still
I'd
interrupt
say
my
stuff
recording.
like, I'm gonna be a sky
but I
pirate,
guess
or some other stupid thing.
that's whatever.
Just anything to keep my mind off it. I was running away. I needed to get away from his death. That's why I followed you. You know what? I'm through with it. I'm through running. I'm ready to find my purpose. To find some real answers. some reasons. If I stick with you, I think I will.
I wish I knew.
I'll find him.
I will accompany you to Mount Ozmose.
I had hoped you'd say yes. I'm glad.
My heart is not set. I still have questions. I hope to find answers along the way.
I had other reason to invite you. There is someone I'd like you to meet waiting on Ozmose.
Who is that?
An enemy, and an ally also. You will just have to wait and see for yourself.
That Larsa likes his secrets.
He does not mean ill by it.
He's not bad. At least for an Imperial.
Holy Mount Ozmose stands at the northern end of the Jagd Remuda. Once we're in Jagd, we need not fear pursuit by their airships.
Don't get your hopes up. You remember the Leviathan sailed straight over the Jagd Yensa, right up to Wraithel's tomb. Skystone that works even in Jagd. You know, nethicite's behind it. Little wonder they're so keen on the stuff.
And what is it you're after, Balthier? You're a welcome hand and a great aid, but why?
Worried I'm out to steal the nethicite, eh? Can't say I'm unaccustomed to people doubting my intentions. Nothing could be further from my mind. Shall I swear by your sword or some such?
Apologies, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you, and you seem to have an interest in the stone.
I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same.
Alright, now we got Larsa back in our party. Now this is where healing can be a little more excessive for you, because Larsa has access to Cura. As I mentioned before, when he first joins you anyways, so he'll be pretty effective of healing you, so that you don't always have to have Penelo in your party to heal you up. And I did buy some high potions again, because I really needed some high potions. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time.